going to do is go ahead and remove the wipers. All right, and to do that, you're simply just going to go and pry and lift up on this cap. And this cap is going to go ahead and slide off. You can put that to the side. And then here we have a 13 millimeter, which we're going to go ahead and add some lubricating solution to. So now what we're going to do is add some WD-40 or any penetrating oil. As you can see here on this bolt, it is quite rusty. So what you don't want to do is go ahead and try to take that off and you end up stripping that. So we're just going to spray a little on both sides. Let that sit. You can go ahead and take the rest of the parts off and then we'll get to that next. Go ahead, simply take that off by hand. Okay. And that comes off nice and easy with the penetrating oil on there. I wouldn't recommend putting power tools on here because you don't want to break any of this stuff. Okay, and that simply comes right off. All right, so these are going to be a little bit difficult to actually come off at times. This is kind of difficult, as you can see right now. It's hard to even get them off. So what I end up doing is also spraying some lubricant in here because we want this to come off nice and easy. So here's the pro trick on how to get these off. Once you actually get them up, what you're going to want to do is pull on them a little bit here in the back, okay? And then they'll free up and then they'll easily come out. If you're having to pull and pry and go back and forth with these things, you're not doing it right, or you haven't let the penetrating oil sit long enough. As you can see here in the back, it has the penetrating oil. And these things are actually, this is locked into this little deal right here, if you can see it right here. So this is a matter of finesse. Getting these off is finesse, not brute force trying to break it off. So this is how you take this side off, and then you can do the same thing on the other side. All right, so the next thing we're going to want to do is go ahead and remove these actual screws that are here. All right, these are T30s. So we're simply going to go ahead and take our T30 and we're going to go ahead and remove them. And there is 4 of them. So there's 2 on this side and then 2 more on the other side. All right, so the next thing we want to do is go ahead and remove our T40s. There's one here, okay? And then one on this side, this one, and this one. So we want to remove all of these now so we can go ahead and raise this panel up and also then release this part here, which we're trying to get to. All right, so now we've gone ahead and removed all the hardware. The wipers are off. We've taken off our screws that are here on the side and also the side plate. What we want to do is go ahead and be able to take this header panel off, okay? But it's a little bit of a trick because it seems like it's stuck. So I'm going to show you what we do to get that off. So now you're simply going to go ahead and raise your hood. Okay, so this is why we had to raise the hood, because this panel still seems to be secured. I'm going to give you a look-see and show you what needs to come off now. So 1 and 2, these are just push pins. So from here, you can just pick those up because if not, the panel will come out. So with a panel popper or a flathead screwdriver, you can simply just come right under here, okay, and lift these up. You're going to want to lift these up. 1, and 2. All right, now that we've removed that, we're going to go ahead and now lower the hood back down. And now we can go ahead and take this whole panel out of here, okay? So this is a little bit of a slippery slope into how it comes out of here, so I'll show you how to do that next. All right, so now we've taken all the hardware out. We can simply go ahead and take these out. One thing you want to do if you zoom in on here, you're going to want to make sure that you're clearing these, because every time you're trying to lift it up, it won't come out. So you kind of have to twist it out a bit. Same thing on both sides. All right, so as you're taking this panel out, you might be fighting with it, trying to get it out. It doesn't come out, but here's the reason why. It's the feet from what we took out underneath. 1 and 2. You can see them right here. They're getting caught on the hood. So you can just go ahead and actually push those back as well. That's one there. It's a little difficult to see, but here's the other one. We can push it up. So even over here, you can go ahead and give it a push so you can kind of bend it so that you can get this thing out as well. So if you're struggling with this panel, trying to get it out, and you can't figure out why it's not coming out, it's actually because of this foot here and this foot here. Now, with a panel puller or something of that nature, if you wanted, what you can do is you can actually take off 1, 2, 3, 4, so the panel comes out a lot easier. What I've noticed, because these actual fasteners here are so old, when you try to get them out, they'll actually break. So when you go to put it back in, it won't hold, and that's the reason why it won't go back in right, number one. And number two, this is also your vent. Okay, this blocks from all the debris. So if you break that, it won't sit right. So doing it this way may be a little bit more challenging, but at least it goes back in the right way. And you're simply going to lift up this handle, and these are the parts that I was talking about right here that give you a hard time coming out. And then these are also some guide pins that are also in the back, which actually are right here, 1 and 2. All right, so here we are. The next thing we want to be able to do is to remove this. We want to bend it back. We have to remove 1 10mm here and 1 10mm here. All right, now we've gone ahead and we're able to take off all of our screws and our hardware. And what we want to do is check for our drain point. But what you're going to do is you want to be careful. This part of the actual fender is part of the fender, okay? So this plate that's here, all right, is actually on with pinch welds. And what we want to do is just simply just lift it back so that we can inspect inside. And I'll show you exactly what we're looking for. All right, now with this peeled back, I'm going to show you the drain points, actually where they are. This side is always typically clean, so it's not this big hole that's here. It's actually the one down there is where water passes and flows through and releases. So this side is pretty clean. It's typically the other side. All right, so now that we've removed all this, I want you to take a look at water's journey and all the debris that is under here. As you can see, there's some water that's down here. And what ends up happening is that water, what it does is it channels its way and it goes through this little hole. But as you can see, as the water all runs down based on the dirt trail, it runs down, 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 down here, and it drops in there. And then the same thing on this side, whatever water comes in, funnels on this side. So that's why when we're looking underneath this side of the panel, you don't really see any debris because water doesn't have really a chance to get in there. It's typically always going to be on the opposite side. All right, so now we've gone ahead and lifted that. I'm going to show you what I mean. These are the spot welds, 1, 2, 3, 4, that actually hold this piece onto here. And we don't want to disturb it too much, but this is the big and major culprit. So Jeep has gone ahead and put a butyl patch in here. And what is usually in here is a ton of dirt and debris. Let's have a look. As you can see, here is a bunch of twigs and debris. There's a bunch of stuff that's in here. And what it's actually doing is clogging the drain hole. Okay. The drain hole is actually right down in here. And that's where the water is supposed to exit from. So that's where the water is actually being stopped. All right. So what we'll do is we'll end up taking some waterproofing tape. And once we have that all cleared up, we'll go ahead and patch that up as well. All right, so let's take a look-see inside of exactly what we got going on now. So we've gone ahead and just dug out all the sticks and debris that are in there. And I want to show you how small the drain hole is. So it's not this big hole here on top. It's actually right here. You see this little opening, this little channel that's in it? All right, so we're still on the passenger side. This channel now is free, so that water can actually flow through and actually come out of that hole that's there, which is designed. So that's where the water actually gets, that's where the water is being stopped and it gets clogged and move on to the back. So we simply just dug that out with a stick, or you can use anything you want, take all the debris out by hand, and then you just simply take a spray bottle or a hose, and then we can spray in there and just really rinse that out. And now the water should be coming out the bottom of the fender. Let's have a look. So that is the drain point. As you can see, I'm spraying water up on top. Water exits right on the bottom of the fender. So that's what you're looking for on both sides. Once you've done that, you're completely done with the repair, and you can put everything back together as it was originally, and you're done with this entire cowl panel maintenance.